let's talk about one of the most popular books in the MSP industry. And not only that, I'm going to be reviewing this book. I have recently just read it, and I want to give my thoughts on it. I think it's going to be some good insight for you guys. Before I get into it, my name is Harrison Barron from growth-generators.com. We help MSPs grow. That is what we do at Growth Generators. We help them specifically in sales and marketing and some additional business management. Before I get into today's video, or if you are now listening, we do have a podcast. I will link it down below. It is available on most platforms at the time of recording this, but it will probably be available on all platforms, at least your normal podcasting platforms afterwards. So in the video description or the podcast notes, you'll be able to see all of the helpful links that we recommend, from other helpful resources to masterclasses and all that good stuff down there, and even jumping into our free community. And it is crazy what I'm about to say, but we are past 500 members in the Discord. Super, super cool. So thank you guys for coming and checking it out. If you'd like to join the Discord, growth-generators.com. Otherwise, the video description or the show notes for the podcast. So let's talk about one of the most popular books. It is Package Price Profit, written by a gentleman by the name of Nigel Moore. This is strictly a review of the book and some of the bullet points that I think are important to talk about. Now, I do want to flat out say, Nigel, great job with the book. I have nothing but respect for what he does. I think it's fantastic what he's done for the MSP industry, and this is a fantastic book. It actually inspired me to write our own book, and I'm in the process of writing it, but that's a long ways down the road. So let's talk about some of the things that I think are really critical that the book covers pretty well. First is going to be choosing your model. And what I mean by choosing your model, it is going to be adjusting your plans, having loss leader plans, and really kind of the business model for your MSP. Whether it's a value-based business model, how you are going to mature and grow your MSP. But when you go into the MSP world, you want to have an idea of kind of the business model that you're going to follow. And what happens if you don't is you have a lot of these people that have a break fix shop. They've built this company and they don't really know how to get to the next level, or they're just comfortable. And that's okay, that's normal, but getting to that next level or changing the business model is actually quite difficult. And when you go into it, and I think that this book is fantastic for who it's targeted towards, when you go into it with the mentality of what you want to actually grow, it becomes significantly easier. The second thing that this book talks about quite a bit is setting up your plans and how you're actually going to be charging. Is it going to be a per user, a per device, or a bit of a hybrid model? And also, not only that, what do your plans actually look like? Most people, and I've mentioned it a ton of times on this channel, and if you've made it this far in the video, I would highly recommend hitting that like and that subscribe button, because I take a lot of what he teaches in here even further on this channel. But there is usually a secret sauce of good, better, best for all MSPs. Now, there are MSPs out there that have a one offering solution, and it's kind of a one size fits all, or hey, we have one product, and if you want to fit or work with us, you have to work within the confines of that product. But this is really good, and you can customize, you can build the plan how you want. Now, you might be wondering, Harrison, well, what should be in these plans? That video is coming soon. You're not going to want to miss the chance to subscribe to that, along with a swipe file to give you a mass summary. But the hard part is every MSP is different. And I think that Nigel does a really good job in the book, kind of explaining how you, as the pioneer of your business, get to build what you really want and include or not include what you really want. Now, I will say one of the things that it's not as specific. They do give a lot of good examples. I wish it went a little bit deeper in some areas, but that's okay. It's a good taste of what it's like to run an MSP. But the important thing is to really build out those plans when you're going out and you're building your business. If you go into it blind, you are going to be struggling with no direction, no avenue that you want to go down. That's really, really hard for anybody. There's a reason when you go to get a loan or even ask friends, they always ask, what's your business plan? It helps to have a plan, and it helps to follow that plan. In the Boy Scouts and in the fire department, fail to plan, plan to fail, right? It's a pretty common saying, but it's true. You really have to have some kind of plan. Now, don't get me wrong. That plan can change all of the time. I would be lying to you if I said it's not going to change all the time. But that's one of the big differences out there, is taking that plan and having something in place, and then you can always adjust and modify that down the road. But I think that that's really, really important. And one of the third things that obviously they talk about is the pricing, right? So we have price is probably the biggest set of letters on the book, but pricing is something really, really important. And not only is it really important, how do you price? What are you actually going to price? The book warns against prices based on competitors, commoditizing your thinking, which is a lot of stuff that I preach on here, and kind of getting into arbitrary methods that just don't work. Trust me, your services that you're going to be providing as an MSP are really, really good. And more than likely, they're probably even better than most of your competition out there. But you have to have an idea of what you're going to be charging. If you're like, I just think, you know what, I think we're worth $100. Why are you worth $100 an hour? Why are you charging people $100? I'm not saying that that's a bad number, but there has to be reasoning behind that. And experiment with pricing. Another thing I've talked about a ton on this channel. I love my concept of lose 50% of your proposals. I know that sounds crazy, but if you're losing 50%, and that means you're winning the other 50%, you're not leaving money on the table. But if you're getting every single deal that comes through the door, you have to step back and think, I might not be charging enough. Either that or you are a sales assassin, which kudos to you. But even still, you really want to be in that sweet spot of about 50, depending on what kind of business you are. And it's a really, really good concept to get into. And you want to set up extra fees, right? I talk about it all the time, the pain in the butt clients. You might want to add a little bit of an extra fee and kind of pick and choose who your clients actually are. And that's what I think that this book does a really, really good job on. So when you're either changing your model from a break fix, you want to make sure that you have solid margins and you want to build a business that you truly love, a true MSP, a true managed service provider. And I think that the book does a pretty darn good job at this. Now, it's a pretty quick read. It's only about 147 pages, if I remember. Yeah, 147 pages to get to the acknowledgments. It's a good book. True story, I don't really read. I suck at reading. But what I can tell you is I crush audiobooks, and it is a great book. I read it in a couple hours in the car. It's not something I feel uncomfortable with having friends in the car with, although most of my friends think MSP stuff is boring as could be, so I usually don't bore them, but it is truly a book that I enjoyed tuning into and was excited to finish. So what are the next steps for you, right? You're watching this video, you're like, Harrison, is this something I should buy? Let me tell you this. One, if you'd like to support the channel and you'd like to get the book and even support Nigel, I will leave a link down below in the video description and the podcast show notes so you can go grab a book of the Package Price Profit. It'll go to Amazon. I believe you can even get this free on his website, but I think it's overall a great book, especially for the beginner. If you're a longtime subscriber of the channel, I cover a lot of this stuff in more depth on the channel, but hey, if you want some light reading or just want to see what else is out there, I genuinely think it's a really, really good book, especially for when you're starting out. I think they have a good amount of resources. Nigel is a well-respected figure in the industry. I respect the heck out of him for what he's done with that book, what he's done for his own communities, what he's put out. So I have nothing but respect for the man. And if you ever see a picture of him, I'll see if I can get this to focus here, but he has significantly less hair in this than he does currently from what I've seen on YouTube videos. But he's from Australia, absolute rock star. And I would honestly recommend checking out, reading the book. I think it's a fantastic read. And go from there. If you've made it this far and you're like, Harrison, what else can I get a hold of? Obviously, like I said, you're going to want to subscribe to the channel. But I have another book just down there that I'm going to be doing a review in the very, very near future. Other than that, that's all I got for you guys today. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. It's a bit of a shorter one, but I think it's fun. I think it's cool that I got to read somebody else's book, do a nice little review on it. I'm not here to destroy people's books. If I don't review somebody's book, it's either I didn't read it or I don't want to poo-poo it. But I genuinely, if I'm going to bring it to you guys, I probably think it's worth going through, especially if you're a beginner MSP. But these are my overall feelings. I think it's a good book. I think it's something worth investing your time into. And heck, it's a light read. There's not that many MSP books out there. I'd love to see more. Some of them are super exciting. Some of them are a bit of a snooze fest. We're talking about technology here, and not that it's a bad thing, but depends on how you write it. Other than that, I love the heck out of you guys, as always. I appreciate you guys for always supporting the channel. It means the world to me. Come hang out with us in the Discord, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Till then,